Well, doing these videos on this channel, sorry for this wiggling, my little holder for my phone just went kaplooey. So, unexpected events, right? Well, when doing all of these videos over the last 7 years, during that time, people share their stories with me. And it's important that you understand that every single person going into this field, has their own story. It's not always the easiest road that they've gone down. Most people don't have an easy road. Not everybody had people in their background supporting them. Some came out of terrible childhood. Some came out of an abusive situation in a marriage. Others just went through a divorce. For me, it was to make sure I had a career in case something did happen to my marriage. Yeah, true. And I wanted to be able to earn an income that was reliable to a point, but where I could make more money than I was making currently as an administrative assistant. And I was in a big corporation, a good-sized corporation. And so I was looking to specialize in something. And I know if you're looking at this career, that's one of the reasons that you want to go into it, although maybe some of you watching have never thought about that. But there are hundreds of areas of law in the paralegal field. And most attorneys, I would say, don't work in just one. Most attorneys who do wills and things like that, they don't work in just one because honestly, they can't make enough money to support themselves doing wills and living wills and powers of attorney and that type of thing, okay? I know that from experience that they'll do probate, and one lady attorney that I worked in, she actually worked in administrative law in a law firm that we were both in, and I worked in that law firm for 3 full-time attorneys and 1 part-time. They were not all really busy, okay? I have to say that. The most you should work for when they're really busy and they have a lot of clients is just 2 at the most. Okay, remember that. That's my tidbit for today. Going into the legal field for me was going to be kind of like an insurance policy for me. That I would have this, I had the typing skills. You have to have that. I had the typing skills. I had worked in an office before, but that's not totally necessary for you. To learn how to file, client folders in filing cabinet, you have to know the alphabet. And most of you know the alphabet. And you build from that very basic foundation and just keep going. Does it feel stressful at times? Yes, sometimes work was my escape. When my youngest daughter at age 21 passed away, this work for 8 hours was a very healthy escape for me during that 8-hour period of grief, where I wasn't so heavily grieving, okay? And then afterwards, yes, the grief hit me again. No matter what you're going through, if you're being pulled to this career, pay attention to that. And don't think it's above you and that you can't reach that and that you have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to achieve this. I'm totally against that. But if you're in California, excuse me, California has mandated through paralegal regulations that you have to have a 2-year degree or a certificate in paralegal studies. Most of the other 49 states do not insist on that, okay? So what does that mean? That means that you still have to learn a bunch. And a lot of what we learn, certainly in my case and many other people's cases, is we learned on the job. Because frankly, in the school or certificate program, they don't teach you a lot about how to help the attorney. So they sincerely do not. And that's the gap of knowledge that's missing. So, and how to monitor everything. They just don't teach it. So God totally understands where your situation right now, where you are. He already knew it was going to happen. And if you trust him, give it to him. Trust him. He's going to make beauty out of all of this. But trust him to do it. But you put in the effort. Okay? I was coming out of a really bad job situation. I mean, I was doing really well. I had a great review, but the atmosphere was not good. And our department wasn't being managed well at all in our big corporate or semi-big corporation. So when you say to yourself, I'm in the middle of chaos in my personal life, Leslie, and you just don't understand. Oh, I understand. When my husband lost his job of 28 years, that was chaotic. It was like a house of cards with losing our home, everything, except we did have 2 cars. We also had car payments, like everybody else, and we had nowhere to live. We had to leave our home and move to another state so we could all be together and rent a home. And I was the sole support of the family for about 3 years. And then things started to get better. But I had left the legal field to open a business, and the business, with my husband losing his job, the business failed. And that's what I mean about a house of cards. So don't think that you're the only one in a difficult situation. I left the legal field for about a year, and thank goodness I had those skills. I was able to go back into it in another state. Yeah, another state entirely. That's the time when I tell you in videos that I couldn't land a job and I had to do learn how to do a knock 'em dead cover letter. That cover letter that I teach people how to do rose my resume to the top. And I landed a job. And that, because I had these skills, I was able to help my family. And that's all I wanted, to put food on the table, to get my oldest back in college again. She ended up getting loans to pay her way through college, and so did my youngest, to be a chef. And so don't give up. There's a plan and a purpose for you, and God says he has plans to prosper you, not to harm you. I made some decisions in my life, early life. I was a single mom because of those decisions. But then God placed an incredible man in my life that I married. And then we started building a life. But that doesn't mean that there weren't problems along the way. There certainly were. But trusting God to see us through was the answer, not to try to fix it ourselves. So you do have time to make a change. Everybody behind you, you see people when you go on interviews, and they're in that law firm, and you're wishing you could get in, and you start to think oh, it was easy for them. It was not. They all have stories. So don't think you can't make that change. You can, and it's not too late. I've had people in their early 30s think it was too late for them. But then when I tell you guys that a 65-year-old woman who it wasn't her that was commenting on my YouTube channel, it was her sister, said, my sister just got in, and an attorney offered her a job in a personal injury firm, and she's 65. Woohoo! I love hearing that. So you're not too old if you're 34. In fact, the average age span is from the very early 30s all the way into the 60s and early 70s. Yeah. So don't make up things in your head as to who's getting in and they're just so special and all that. It's people from all walks of life. What's the point of this video? Don't let anything stop you. We all have stories, and some of them they're not pretty. No, and sometimes this career helped us in staying on track mentally and keeping the refrigerator with food in it, paying the bills, paying the mortgage, the rent. It certainly helped my family. So, and then my husband ended up managing law firms, go figure. But that was because God placed me in a law firm, and the manager was looking for an assistant. My husband became his assistant. The manager was really skeptical to meet with my husband, but they ended up being very, very good friends. You just never know where things will lead. So have a great day. Be sure to go to my website, because there's a link over there called Paralegal Resource Hub that is free for you. Go check that out. All of this helps you. I really, really minister to beginners. I want to mentor beginners, and that's been going on for 7 years, okay? All of my courses I build is for beginners, okay? Well, veterans can take my cover letter secrets class as well, but all of the website, it's all for beginners. The book, Legal Break-In, if you're a total beginner, that's for you. So it's not too late, and you can make this change. I want to hear your story. I've had people just in the last day share their stories in the comments section, and I just read them and I have to reply it. Tell me your story. Like, why are you looking at the paralegal field? Your why is very important, but I so love to hear your comments and your backstory. Okay, people of all walks of life get in this field, and you can too. So stay tuned for tomorrow's video. I hope this helped you today, and I will talk to you. And don't forget, the link to the website is below in the description box. Go visit it and look around, and everything there's for you. And join the Paralegal Resource Hub, no charge. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you in tomorrow's video. Bye-bye.